Howdy y'all, it is me, JSoldierPro once again. I am continuing my quest to rank every Mario Kart track from Super Mario Kart to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and today it's finally time to conquer Mario Kart Super Circuit. This ranking will focus on the 20 Nitro tracks in this entry, and I'll talk about the 20 extra tracks at the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoy. Number 20, Snowland. Despite being my least favorite track in this game, I will admit I do like the wintry theming. The snowmen and penguins are cute, and the track looks pretty visually, but unfortunately, that is where my praise comes to a dead end. There are patches of ice that will spin you out, and there are patches of water which will cause you to drown, both of which are extremely irritating to deal with. The track design as a whole is painfully forgettable, but worst of all, by a long shot, the entire screen shakes violently on loop for the entire race. How was this green-lighted and considered okay for the general public? Number 19, Peach Circuit. This is the opening track for this entry, and like the previous two opening tracks, it gets the job done and nothing more, really. Peach's castle is in the background, there are some peach trees scattered around the track, and the layout is nothing notable. It makes sense for this track to be easy and basic, but regardless, I consider this among the most forgettable tracks in the entire series. Number 18, Mario Circuit. Instead of Peach's castle, there is now a background of trees, but the track makes up for this by having a slightly more open layout, allowing for some more shortcut potential. The best part of this track is the end, where a narrow side route behind the finish line has a row of coins to collect and a boost panel. Overall, a bit better than Peach Circuit, but still very forgettable.
So I missed.
Number 17, Boo Lake. This track has a spooky aesthetic that is alright and offers some somewhat enjoyable gameplay. The jumps at the beginning are fun, I like the narrow shortcut you can take towards the end, and the constant threat of falling off helps keep this track somewhat enjoyable. My main issues are that the boos can be very irritating if they attack you, and I wish this track offered more variety. Number 16, Bowser Castle 1. This track has a well-done atmosphere, and the best part is the jumping sequence where you have some lava balls to avoid. Elsewhere in the track, there are some thwomps that serve as excellent hazards as always, and even some patches of off-road you can mushroom through. Unfortunately, the layout is too basic to rank any higher, but regardless, this serves as an acceptable introduction to the 4 Nitro Bowser Castle tracks this game has to offer. Number 15, Broken Pier. This track is very similar to Boo Lake, as you would probably expect, and the gameplay is an improvement, with the track not only being more difficult, but also offering plenty of jump ramps and crazy turns to keep you on your toes. The best part of the track is absolutely this insane shortcut, and while difficult, it is very satisfying to pull off successfully. This track would rank notably higher if I liked the theming more and if the boos were not annoying. Number 14, Yoshi Desert. I wasn't a fan of Calamari Desert and Mario Kart 64, and unfortunately, Yoshi Desert continues its theme of underwhelming desert tracks. The theming is very forgettable, and in general, this track doesn't stand out at all to me. There are bits of quicksand with piranhas that'll eat you and spit you out if you fall into them, and while interesting in concept, I find them more annoying than anything else in execution, and the track as a whole feels largely barren, which I'm not a fan of. This track does, however, have some aspects that I like about it, like the oasis that you can mushroom over, the various jump ramps scattered around the track layout, which offers plenty of twists and turns, and of course the banger soundtrack. Definitely not a bad track, but still one that leaves some to be desired regardless. Number 13, Shy Guy Beach. This track takes place in a giant archipelago and feels like it's what SNES Koopa Beach 1 tried to be. The islands vary in shape and size, and the track offers plenty of detail like palm trees and crabs to avoid. The best part of this track, alongside the beautiful theming, is the background of Shy Guy pirates shooting cannonballs at you, which is epic. These will rarely hit you or another racer, but they do a great job at adding a threat to this otherwise peaceful track regardless. The only part I don't like about this track is the part with the tiny island spam everywhere, but otherwise this track functions well and it's fun to play through. Number 12, Luigi Circuit. While the first two Nitro Circuit tracks left a lot to be desired, Luigi Circuit stands out as a genuinely good and very creative circuit track. The theming is unique since it is raining constantly, and there are puddles you must avoid throughout the racetrack. The Luigi blimp in the sky is a nice touch, as is the building in the background. I appreciate how this track offers some tricky turns which keep you on your toes, and as a whole, I'm very impressed by this track when you compare it to the other two this game has to offer. I'm convinced this game's name refers to this track because it is indeed a super circuit. Number 11, Bowser Castle 2. This Bowser Castle track offers plenty of jump ramps and lava pits to avoid, with many thwomps and lava balls throughout as well. There are numerous lava holes that you must jump over by using the jump ramps, and these holes come in various sizes, making this track surprisingly fun to navigate through. My main complaint is screen shaking being present when you go over the metal grates, but since it only occurs in some parts of the track, I can forgive it, unlike Snowland where it's constant the entire race. The same goes for any other track in the game that has screen shaking. Number 10, Riverside Park. This track takes place in a jungle and has some fun gameplay that offers a crazy shortcut that I honestly suck at performing, as well as this fun jump over some water. The highlight of this track is the ending 270-degree turn into a second jump where you jump over a previous part of the track, and it is simply awesome to do. This track isn't super complex or anything, but it still stands out as a good track with some extra fun moments regardless. Number 9, Cheep-Cheep Island. This is a beach track that offers a calm and welcoming atmosphere that screams tropical paradise, while the track design is complex enough to keep you engaged and on your toes. The crabs make for good hazards, and the massive shortcut being possible is a huge bonus too. Additionally, I also like how racers spend a lot of time on both the islands and the boardwalk because it makes the track stand out a lot more. Overall, a beach track that is executed well. Number 8, Bowser Castle 3. This Bowser Castle track stands out for having unique visuals, and I genuinely question why the other Bowser Castles didn't use the same style, because it looks absolutely incredible. The gameplay is quite enjoyable with a fun jumping sequence, plenty of thwomps and lava bubbles to avoid, and Kamek who is flying in the air for whatever reason as well. This track offers plenty of variety and is a blast to play through. Number 7, Sunset Wilds. This is among the most iconic tracks from this entry, and it's due to the sunset which turns what would otherwise be a forgettable desert track into an amazing one. As you race, the sun will set each lap, causing the entire track to transform visually, and there is no other track like this in the entire series, making it really stand out. The American Southwest theming is also well done, though the Shy Guys can be annoying if you hit one of their tents. While iconic and extremely unique, I do prefer the gameplay on the tracks ranked above it, which is why this track ranks lower than some may expect. This track not ranking any higher is a testament to just how enjoyable the tracks are from here onwards. Number 6, Lakeside Park. This track is like Riverside Park in that it has jungle theming, but unlike Riverside, it has a volcano in the background that erupts and launches fireballs all around the track, causing havoc. This is done in a similar way to Sunset Wilds, and I prefer it here since it affects gameplay in an interesting way. The fireballs are excellent hazards, the massive jump at the end of the track is a ton of fun, and the shortcut at the end is possible, which is very satisfying to pull off. My only complaint is that I'm not a fan of the ramp that can send you backwards in the track, but this overall barely affects my opinion on the track. Number 5, Bowser Castle 4. This track throws any form of simplicity into lava and offers an incredibly jam-packed race experience with what looks like a nuclear bomb in the background. The track includes thwomps to dodge, lava pits to avoid, split paths, jumping sequences, and even Mecha Koopas. This track offers so much complexity, it is absolutely insane, and is hands down the best 2D Bowser Castle track in the entire series. shortcuts. Number 4, Cheeseland. This track has hands down some of the best theming of any track in the entire series, with the entire track having a very cheesy aesthetic that includes cheese mountains, meows hazards, and even the moon in the sky, which is of course made of cheese. The gameplay is a blast, with there being 2 massive jumps back to back, plenty of shortcut potential in the latter half, and a soundtrack that absolutely slaps. As a bonus, there is even this crazy shortcut that allows you to skip the second jump entirely. This track is extremely creative and is a blast to play through every time. Number 3, Ribbon Road. This track is like Cheeseland in that it has incredible theming throughout, an excellent soundtrack, 2 massive jumps over a previous part of the track, and even a broken shortcut that lets you skip the second jump as well. I give Ribbon Road a slight edge over Cheeseland because of me preferring its present theming, and because of it having boost panels throughout the track, making it surprisingly fast-paced. Number 2, Sky Garden. If any Mario Kart track can be described as heaven, this is it without question. This track takes place in the sky and has an incredibly peaceful soundtrack. The track design is nothing too crazy, with there being no crazy jumps, but it does offer the challenge of trying to stay on the track, and also has several risky shortcuts players can attempt if they are daring enough. I also love how the Luigi blimp from Luigi Circuit is visible in the background, which indicates a connection between the 2 tracks. I came into this game expecting this incredible track to win easily, but was shocked when I realized there is one track in this game more deserving of first place. The best track in Mario Kart Super Circuit is... Number 1, Rainbow Road, which is the first track in the series to achieve perfection. This track is truly incredible and is one of the most underrated tracks in the entire series. The visuals are gorgeous, the music is beautiful, but the star of the show is hands down the track design. The track offers some big jumps towards the end, as well as many sharp turns to keep you on edge, but what makes this track so unique is the shortcut potential. The track is surrounded by jump ramps on the sides, and you can use these to gain some height. At first, this may seem useless given how vast the gaps are between parts of the track, but combining these jump ramps with mushrooms allows players to fly airborne and gives players the opportunity to make crazy shortcuts. The ending of the track even has a narrow side route loaded with boost panels that will do the same thing, which is awesome. A track like this would likely be very flawed in any other entry, but it works perfectly in Super Circuit thanks to the crazy physics engine, and this is why Rainbow Road deserves the honor of being my favorite track in Mario Kart Super Circuit. Breaking it down, Mario Kart Super Circuit has 3 bad tracks, 4 mid tracks, 4 good tracks, 2 great tracks, 2 amazing tracks, 4 masterpiece tracks, and 1 perfect track. This game has a well-spread track selection, offering both notable highs and notable lows, and I find it interesting that no single tier has more than 4 tracks in it. In every respect, Mario Kart Super Circuit should be a downgrade compared to Mario Kart 64, given it had many more technical limitations, and in some ways it is. The controls are very clunky and are more comparable to Super Mario Kart. The screen shakes violently in some parts of some tracks and in the entirety of Snowland. The battle mode sucks, and while I enjoyed the Bowser Castle tracks, having 4 is admittedly overkill, and I would have preferred 1 Bowser Castle track with 3 other unique Nitro tracks. Additionally, this game didn't add any new characters, any new items, and the tracks are all 2-dimensional like in Super Mario Kart. Despite these flaws and shortcomings, this game has an extremely fun physics engine that allows for lots of crazy shortcuts to be possible. The track selection is better than those of the previous 2 entries with a surprising amount of quality tracks, and this game adds Quick Run, which is a criminally underrated mode. This mode is essentially the precursor to what what we today know as single-player versus mode, and in it you play on any track in any order you want against 7 CPUs, and you are also given the option to toggle laps between 3 and 5, items on or off, and coins on or off as well. Super Circuit is also the first ever handheld Mario Kart game, meaning it's the first one you can play on the go, which is a nice bonus too. I came into Mario Kart Super Circuit expecting Super Mario Kart 2.0, but ultimately I found myself pleasantly surprised, and I can say I overall enjoyed the Nitro tracks this entry has to offer. In fact, I actually prefer this game over not only Super Mario Kart, but also over Mario Kart 64. I definitely recommend you check out Mario Kart Super Circuit and play its Nitro tracks if you're given the opportunity to do so. I recommend experiencing the game through a quick run if playing single player, or through versus mode if playing multiplayer, so you can choose whatever tracks you want in any order. Anyways, that's it for Mario Kart Super Circuit. See you next time when I cover even more Mario Kart Super Circuit, because we're not done yet. At the beginning of the video, I said I would discuss the extra tracks after the ranking, and now the time has come. Think of you as the Earth and Mario Kart Super Circuit as the moon. The side of the moon we see is the near side, which in this context are Super Circuit Nitro tracks. They're the tracks everyone thinks of when you say Mario Kart Super Circuit, and are the tracks I've ranked in this video. This is simple enough, but there is a bigger picture than meets the eye. Go to the other side of the moon and you will see the dark side, which never faces the Earth. And we can do the same in Super Circuit by going to the other side of the track select menu, revealing a track selection that the Mario Kart community prefers to forget exists. Tune in next time for when I cover Mario Kart Super Circuit's forbidden extra tracks.